I have been talking to this woman for a while. We have been getting close lately. She is on vacation right now, and I am watching her dogs, which is not a problem. However, she has been sending mixed signals since she left. She is doing other things to provoke a reaction or make me chase her. I am not playing those games because they feel childish and slightly annoying. How does this make you all feel? I cannot be the only one who feels this way. Story 1. I lose interest immediately. We are not teenagers. Stop playing games. If you want somebody, tell them. If she acts distant or like she is not interested, I will go to the next girl and see if she is interested. It is that simple. Story 2. If she is playing games at this stage, just move on. She likes attention and drama, and I guarantee it will get worse. Or she will just string you along to get you to do more favors for her. I like the saying, when someone shows you their red flags, wave your white flag and peace out. Story 3. I do not play hot and cold games. I also would not let someone use me to dog sit while she goes on vacation when we have only been talking for a while. Story 4. Mate, enjoy the dogs while she is away. When she is back, drop the key through the door and do not waste your time. If she is running hot and cold, she is probably seeing someone else. Quality relationships are all in, no games, just feel right. Took me a long time to realize that, but now no exceptions. Story 5. I am too focused on autism to make that connection. Well, it seems they are not interested. I am going to paint some models and have a drink before they think I am some kind of stalker. Story 6. Sometimes people do this because they like to play games, but most of the time it is because they do not know how to be direct. Also, as a very broad generalization, men and women communicate very differently. She may be interpreting your actions or responses as playing games. If you think she is interested and you are also interested, then straightforwardly ask. Story 7. In this day and age, there is no chase. Women firmly urge men not to pursue them when they have indicated they are not interested. This sometimes on and sometimes off behavior is either uncertainty or results from contact as a convenience. I draw that last part from the fact that you are watching her dogs but are not in a relationship with her. Maybe you are the sort of person who would do this for friends, in which case, fair enough. However, if you are asking yourself this question, she might come and go based on whenever she wants you to do something for her. Regardless of that last point, we are not in the pursuit era. You need to make certain verbally that you are each on like terms for both your and her safety. If you need to ease into or avoid this topic with her, it's best not to assume there is more to it. In summary, it would make me feel commoditized and toyed with. Story 8. Like she is going to be exhausted when she stops and turns around, and I am over there in the distance with someone who does not play stupid games, as if we are still 14. My partner never played games. That is one of the reasons she is my partner. Story 9. Annoyed. Like I am a dog and she is dangling something above my head. When I reach, she pulls back and repeats it, so I re-engage. The difference is, unlike a dog, I lose interest quickly. It goes from I can do this to I do not care if I can do this or not. What I am chasing is not worth the effort. From there, I just cut off contact. Story 10. I spoke to them directly and respectfully. What happens next is entirely their choice. No one should waste time on games from an adult woman, except for flirting or fun in the bedroom. Story 11. I am immediately and permanently disinterested in her. Even if it was not such a terrible thing to do, it is certainly immature. Story 12. You're right, it definitely is childish. Stop chasing and move on. See if she will come after you. If not, then there is your answer. If she does, it is time to make a move, ask her out, and end it. Story 13. I would ask her to sit down and talk with you about some things. Tell her about your feelings openly and honestly, and bring up the subject without pointing fingers. It is important to try to reconcile the issues we face in relationships without immediately breaking up. It is usually worth it to try and work it out. This is a response from a fellow man. Story 14. This happened to me in the past. Never again. I refuse to be the recipient of someone's power trip because they feel the need to manipulate my feelings. Story 15. We dislike it, and those who pursue it do so because it is the only way to actually find someone. It is childish, boring, and annoying. Story 16. I recognize that she is a game player and will stop entirely. I will not manipulate, and I will not be manipulated. Communicate your needs like an adult. Story 17. Sounds like she needs to find her own purpose. I would maybe play along for a short while for some attention, but at that point she is not wife material. Story 18. It feels annoying, and honestly, I couldn't be bothered enough to do it. I act oblivious, and when I do that, they either change their tactic to chasing me or get mad. Story 19. I disengage. Women trying to get me to chase them is a red flag of entitlement behavior. Entitlement isn't just material demands like paying for dates, gift giving, or acts of service. It includes emotional giving and getting as well. Justifying the expected chase of a woman by a man is a lazy excuse to say, men should be giving and giving until I'm satisfied, and then maybe I'll decide you're worth dating or having a relationship with. I learned a new dating concept recently: being treated like an emotional ATM. This can go either way by gender, but I can say without a doubt that a good number of women who expect to be chased fall into treating me like an emotional ATM from which to withdraw. Very early on, I am exposed to one or more of their life dramas, and I respond attentively and follow up. Among basic things during early dates, I do other things to show appropriate dating interest for early phases, like suggesting date ideas, gestures like cooking for them, or paying for a date here and there. I maintain showing that I am adding value and not stress to their life, and their drama offers learning about them too, so I am not saying I have a scheme in place either. In past good relationships I've had, I may have heard or learned about drama early on, but then I hang around and see what happens after I have soothed them multiple times, maybe offering a modicum of pragmatic advice and perspective. 9 times out of 10, they don't reciprocate emotionally at all. To be clear, having sex is not emotional reciprocation. This is a terrible belief. I am sure some of those women who set up the chase believe that there's a transaction where sex means the man has been paid and the woman is paying. Not only does this create bad relationship dynamics, it makes the sex itself extremely unsatisfying. I have escaped this multiple times. Saying this is childish and slightly annoying are the correct short answers. I have felt this way as early as my mid-20s before having any real dating experience, and now at 39, with plenty of experience, it is the same conclusion realized and backed up over multiple occurrences. Story. I just rejected or ended dating a 38-year-old woman who was definitely playing this stupid game. Her attempt to be clever around it was claiming that the passion is dropping, and I don't feel like you're too interested in me. Maybe neurotypical people read this trap better or differently, but I worked it out by prompting a talk or two. She kept trying to make assertions about my state of mind and feelings, or she would say something about the relationship, as if it were true and implied it was a problem only I could address by changing my behavior through trying harder. Somehow these disappointments were expressed without her saying what she might specifically hope for or want, disproving her mistaken beliefs. She also couldn't state what she had done or tried on her part to resolve what she perceived to be the issues because she had literally done nothing. And to add to this long story, the obvious part of her being so inattentive was that she failed to recall my tree nut allergy 3 times within 6 to 7 dates. It was the easiest response ever to say no when she asked if we could be friends. Though I gave the second best answer. The first was, "You're not good to or for me, or for that matter people from what I can tell." I told her, "I don't have room for more friends. I already have enough." This is what I would tell someone who was a decent or positive dating experience otherwise. Story 20. I'll chase, but she has to as well. I'm not playing that make me feel special, but you're not special nonsense. Story 21. I usually assume she is not interested in anything beyond casual conversation and lighthearted fun, but nothing serious. Story 22. Immediately exhausts me on the spot. You only have to go through a couple of those to their logical conclusion before you get burned out on the entire concept basically forever. Story 23. A woman like that is insecure and looking to use you. A healthy, securely attached person will reciprocate your effort and allow you to be a man and lead without playing hot and cold games. Story 24. It depends on when the chase occurs. At a certain point, the chase is always the chase. Then move on. That is what we call a tease. Story 25. It feels immature, and I no longer engage with it. If you can't show me you are interested, that is fine. There are many women who do not play games. Story 26. If she is willing to sit back and see whether I chase her, she is not interested enough to be worth pursuing. Story 27. Why are you watching dogs for someone you are not dating? There is a high probability you are being played. Story 28. Invite another girl over and be intimate with her instead. If she wants to play games, then games shall be played. I have been through this twice, and I hated it. Story 29. In my experience, that never works out well. Every girl I have ever had also had other people interested in her. Story 30. She is damaged. Someone like that is not ready for a relationship, and entering one with her is almost certain to lead to constant disappointment. Story 31. I feel disinterested, maybe annoyed if they have wasted my time. I have had a few women try this, and it is very unattractive. It tells me they are immature and not someone I want near my life. Story 32. Is she actually playing games here, or is she just on vacation and less glued to her phone than people typically are in 2025? Story 33. How does it make you feel when a woman is trying to get you to chase? It makes me feel like she is not interested, and I move on, doing other things to provoke a reaction or chase from me. She is bad news. End the relationship. Story 34. I cannot say that any woman has ever wanted me to chase her. They may have wanted me to get away, which could have caused emotional distress, but not to chase unless it was chasing oncoming cars. Story 35. It depends on how much you like her. My mom said no to my dad every day for a week when he asked her out. He thought she was perfect, so he kept showing up. He never complained about it, at least to her, and now they are celebrating 30 years together. It's all about romance. You have to romance the lady. If you're already thinking about it like it's a game and she's not worth the effort, then maybe your gut is telling you that you're not that into her. I do think a lot of guys try to act like they don't care. They can't show interest because they are scared of rejection. They are emotionally wounded because someone rejected them in the past, and they haven't gotten over it. Story 36. It was cute back in high school, but now it gives off vibes of insecurity and lack of self-esteem. That is a hard pass. Story 37. I would drop her dogs at a kennel, let her know where they are, and then block her. I do not play games or negotiate with terrorists. Forget that. There are plenty of fish in the sea. No time for someone with self-esteem, ego, and emotional issues. Story 38. If she is playing mind games when you are already kind enough to watch her dogs while she is gone, she is not the one. Find someone who is appreciative and shows warmth when you help her. My partner never tried to get me to chase her. When I did kind things for her, she was kind and grateful, and then helped me when I was in need. We built our relationship on kindness and friendship, lasting 5 years. I think single me probably would have given in to a little bit of a chase, but I cannot fathom it now. Story 39. Sounds like she is breadcrumbing. It is female involuntary celibate or female dating strategy behavior. She gives you just enough attention to keep you around to do favors, pay for dinner, maybe even occasional sex, but she is not serious about you at all and does not put in legitimate effort. Story 40. Imagine playing these games with her when you are in your 40s. If it is a casual activity, just do it until you get tired. Story 41. If the relationship is worth it, play the game. If it is not, do not. Just remember this before you buy a ring. Story 42. No. They are never serious and rarely want anything but a chase. It boosts their self-esteem while damaging yours. It is just bad for mental health. Find a woman who shows interest in you and only you and wants to be around you as much as you want to be around her. No mind games. Story 43. Send her dogs to the shelter. That will end all games for sure. I am joking. Hot and cold games are no fun. I would return her dogs when she gets back from her vacation with people she actually respects and block her afterward. Story 44. This is very vague. It depends on what you mean by playing games. What is she doing exactly? Story 45. Not worth it. I may engage once, but after that, She has the option to follow me or I will find someone else. Story 46. Why are you watching her dogs? Is it in hopes that she will like you? I think she might be using you. Regardless, it is silly to play games when there are so many other people out there who are not going to play games. I would take my ball and go home after she gets back if I were you, unless things seem like they are moving forward. Offer to do more dog sitting in the future, but I think it would be best if you did not continue to pursue anything at this point. I cannot believe it just hit me that she is on vacation and probably should not be on her phone that much anyway. I am now wondering what these games are and if they are actually games. Maybe the original poster is just needy. Original poster. Can you elaborate on the games? Story 47. It feels terrible to have to constantly prove oneself as the most competitive for her attention while usually receiving nothing in return. Both times this happened to me, I told her that I do not think she feels the same about me as I do about her and ended the relationship. Story 48. Are you projecting this onto her actions? Maybe she is busy or distracted on vacation. Personally, I would be enjoying vacation 99% of the time and texting people back whenever I got around to it. Or is it legitimate playing games? Being playful can be fine, but if you are not into it, move on. Story 49. Too old to waste time on that. Already opening with major red flags demonstrating there is no chance it will ever last. I have laundry and other tasks to do. Story 50. Yes, I have too much self-respect to do that. A girl tried that on me some years ago. I dropped her and never looked back. Anyone who makes you degrade yourself like that is not someone you want. Story 51. My father married the same woman 4 times because she liked being chased. When I was 18, he was talking about marrying her again, which would have been the 3rd or 4th time. He told me it is normal in a relationship to force each other to chase. I disagreed when I was 18, and I disagree now that I am in my 40s and have been happily married for over 20 years to a woman who does not do that. My father finally moved on and married a woman who is not crazy. They have been married for over 20 years as well. Story 52. Gotta love the person who says, "Hey, I've only known you for a little while, but can you watch my pets for free while I go on vacation?" Story 53. Makes me feel not even remotely interested. I will ask once. If you are interested, say yes. If you are not interested, say no and we will go our separate ways. Story 54. If she is acting like this now, when she is supposed to be putting her best foot forward and trying to sell you on the idea of her, how do you think she will act after she gets you committed? You can do much better. If I were you, I would move on. Story 55. Ignore her. Your time is a valuable commodity, and you do not have time to play childish games like that. Move on to someone who is more mature and knows what they want. Story 56. Be careful. A woman who behaves like that on vacation is not someone I would trust because if you do it wrong once, she may end up sleeping with the man she met in the lobby. Story 57. It sounds like she flirted with you enough to get you to watch her dogs while she goes on vacation, and now she has accomplished that. Story 58. I am a male in my late 20s with a career and many responsibilities. If I like you and you like me, let's talk and get to know each other. Let's see how it turns out. It could be a great relationship. If you do not like me, please tell me so I can move on and we can both enjoy our days. Story 59. She is not playing games. She is using you. She is not genuinely interested but has to pretend occasionally when you start throwing a tantrum. You are watching her dogs while she is on vacation with 3 to 4 other men. If she were actually into you, she would have wanted you to go on vacation with her. Story 60. Well, I figure if she is trying to get me to chase her, which is manipulative, then there are possibly other manipulative tactics that will follow, such as gaslighting, passive aggression, narcissistic traits, and being a gold digger. So it is definitely a red flag when getting to know someone. I will pass and move on. Story 61. I do not need that drama. I will ask her out once. If she says no, that is it. If she says she is interested but cannot for some reason, I might take another shot later. I am not going to spend months trying to figure out whether someone is interested or just sexually harassing her. Story 62. You have been talking to this woman, and yet you are watching her dogs while she is on vacation. Did I read that correctly? Story 63. I probably would have no idea she wants to be chased, and I would just think she is acting kind of weird, but I would not know why. I would not understand your hints that you want to be chased. Stop trying to communicate using hints with us. We do not understand hints. Story 64, move on. If she was serious, she would not be doing this nonsense. There are many more women who are looking for a serious relationship instead of playing games. Story 65, don't like it. Won't do it. You either want me or you don't. If I wanted to play games, I would turn on my PlayStation. Story 66. I had a woman say she did not understand the games I was playing, referring to my not chasing after her nonsense. I froze for at least 90 seconds in confusion. Story 67. Instant red flag. Do not waste my time. If she cannot appreciate me and what I do for her without playing games, I will find a woman who will. Story 68. I refuse to play. I think that is how I lost my last relationship. She got bored because I do not play games, so she started to chase a man who abuses women behind my back, knowing he is an abuser. Story 69. Sounds super annoying. I would just tell her straight up that you feel like she is playing this hot and cold game and you are not a fan of it. If she listens to you and stops, then she is probably a good match. If not, then you might want to look elsewhere. Story 70. It depends on the girl. For some, the pursuit is genuinely enjoyable and teasing. For others, the pursuit is leading someone on until a better option falls through. It is pretty easy to tell. Story 71. I'm autistic, so I may not notice if she seems disinterested and just move on. I can't handle mixed signals. If I do pick up on it, I get annoyed and move on. At the end of the day, I move on regardless. I need someone to be upfront or I will never know. It's not usually my choice. My brain is wired to miss social cues and not understand why people do certain things. It's much safer to assume that she is not interested rather than assuming she is but playing hard to get. Your feelings are justified. I would communicate it or just move on if I were you. Story 72. Hope to God you are getting paid to watch her dogs, man. If not, then leave because she is going to get upset once she is back from vacation. Story 73. I believe in counter-strategy. You want to play hot and cold with me? I can play it better. Plus, I work a lot too. I love working them up and leaving them wanting more. Nothing is more entertaining than getting to the point where she is starting to take her own pants off, then stopping dramatically and saying, "What time is it? I have to go." Story 74. Always remember that the person she truly wants, she will not make him chase. She will make it very easy for him. Story 75. Annoyed. After days of questioning and doubting myself, I realize she is playing hard to get. After that realization, I move on. Story 76. She is using you and you are behaving like a dog to receive some treats. She will give you just enough affection to keep you useful, but the moment it benefits her, she will cut you out. Story 77. I do not care for games. If the woman is acting as if she is not interested, I would think she is not interested and I will move on. Story 78. I don't chase, so that's not a problem. If I did chase women, I would be embarrassed and ashamed of myself to put my self-esteem so low that I have to play games for attention and affection. 99% of the time when she is trying to get you to play her games, she is not that into you, so why play the games at all? If she were really into you, you would not have to play childish mind games for her attention. I guarantee the men she hooks up with do not play her games. Men do not play her games. She is just not that into you. She is just bored. Story 79. So if you are watching her dogs, what do you get out of this? Because this reeks of friend zone. Listen, I went through a divorce. My male best friends supported me during my darkest time. In my post-divorce phase, I received 3 text messages from 3 women. One asked if I could help her move out of her apartment, and the other 2 inquired about my SUV, as they were also moving. Stop wasting time on people who do not have time for you or enjoy playing games at your expense. Story 80. It depends on how invested you are because it goes both ways. The trick is not to get too invested and to have your own life. Don't share everything and have something to do. Don't just be available all the time. Story 81. Turning 29 next month and already done with that long ago. I would rather communicate and be in a relationship with someone who meets my intentions halfway. Story 82. If you date one woman, you fall in love. If you date many, you learn the game. She is using you for the free service of taking care of her dogs. If she plays games, she does not really respect you as a man. You are allowing yourself to be a puppet in her hands, and usually women get disrespectful with men like that. If she really liked you, she would not play with you. Story 83. To me, this normally indicates that you have been friend-zoned and they are manipulating you to do favors, which seems to fit this situation. Surely, after I turned 18, I stopped dating my age and dated much older to get away from things like this. For the most part, it worked. Story 84. That usually happens when a girl just wants attention and wants to keep you interested and do things for her. It is normal. When a girl is into you, she becomes enthusiastic and hyper-focused on you. Story 85. Off the top, if she is not paying you, you are being used. Even if there is a substantial discount, she should be paying for your services. It costs at least $150 a day to board one dog. As for a woman trying to get me to chase her, I would be willing to commit to the dance if she also shows interest in me. Story 86. I cut my losses and move on, if I even realize it. I won't chase in any situation, but if I am too oblivious to realize it, I just assume they are somewhat friendly but will never be more than that. Story 87. Chasing is a high school game and it should stay there. If you are an adult woman, you need to stop with this behavior. No man likes this and it turns off many more. Story 88. Annoyed and turned off. The chase was fun in high school and college, like playing 52 pickup. I want someone who is ready and confident to show their cards from the start. Story 89. Makes me feel like she would be happier with somebody else. I would be happier if she were with somebody else. Story 90. I don't chase. If a woman starts acting like she wants me to chase, I ignore it. Feels too childish and immature. Plus, the few times I indulged in the chase, it never ended well. They constantly sought male validation, and when I didn't give enough of it because I was focused on work and building a future, they would get it from someone else. Now I see it as a huge red flag. Is that the case for every woman who does it? Probably not. Am I going to take a chance and find out? Absolutely not. I prioritize my peace too much for those games. Story 91. Annoyed. I do not have the time, patience, or mental health for this nonsense. I am navigating the same oppressive capitalist hellscape you are. Story 92. I don't chase. I'm not a lion hunting down a gazelle. If someone wants to spend time with me, spend time with me. Meet me halfway. I'm too old, too jaded, and too tired of games to chase after someone. I'm happy I met my fiancé and don't have to deal with that nonsense. Story 93. People who want you to chase them think they are worth more in your life than you are in theirs. When you want someone in your life, you do not risk losing them over something trivial. If someone tries to explain their behavior of leading you on, you have no reason to believe the explanation is true. You already know they like the chase. Then they say they do not want to jump through hoops to get your trust back. I am a lover of the chase. You develop a refined sense of the natural chase versus an I am bored. Having people chase me boosts my self-esteem and entertains me attitude. Story 94. I do not chase. I seduce. I have never chased. I am just realizing this while thinking about the question. Chasing seems like a power differential in which I have no interest. If a woman does not respond, I simply move on. Story 95. What is she doing? I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and have given up on being in a relationship. I don't text all the time and I am not a love bomber. However, I do like to spend my time with someone. I don't want to seem like a man who needs to chase. Story 96. If she wants games, give her games. Tell her you dropped the dogs off at a shelter and then ignore her. When she rushes home, she will be so excited to see you and her dogs that there will be no more hot and cold, just warmth. Story 97. I'm a poker player, so I'm always evaluating the pot odds, hand equity, and whether it is a multiplayer pot or face-up. It shouldn't make you feel anything. Just evaluate it logically. You are probably dealing with an amateurish player, but sometimes she is shrewd. If the pot odds and hand equity justify chasing, it is worth it, and then I'll reevaluate. If it's a multiplayer pot, at least one other player chasing, it has to be a slam dunk, or I'm not playing. If she liked me and was evaluating me, then she misread and raised the pot too high, and I folded because the pot wasn't good enough, meaning she misread me. If her effort is worth the reward, then perhaps. It's an iterative process. If I read her range correctly, narrowed her hand correctly, and I have equity, then it is an expected value positive play to chase. She is basically making probing bets to see the strength of your hand and trying to tilt you. Story 98. Do you chase? I too once lacked self-esteem and self-respect. But I am older and wiser now. I have flat out told women who were trying to play those games, we are not compatible. I do not chase. And then they get offended but also admit they were trying to make me jealous by posting pictures on other dates. Story 99. How does it make her feel to be referred to as a young woman? Sounds like you both have some growing up to do. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.